A good day to take the family out to the ball game and play with the kids. Just some good old-fashioned family fun. The Wheatland Lobos at the Douglas Cats for a doubleheader. Game one, top of the first. The first two batters walked, but the Douglas defense would clean up the mess. Striker Davies to Marvin Malone to Trevor Locke for the 4-6-3 double play, and that took care of that problem for now. Bottom of the first, the home team got their first two on board and got them in with a little help. Tell Dyer will reach on the error, and that will clear the way for Cody Labert to cross the plate first. Not far behind him was Malone, as the Cats would draw first blood against their rivals and lead 2-0. After that, Brendan Ruert would settle down for Wheatland and get to work. There's his first victim, and that would end the inning with no further damage. Top of the second, actually for a short while, this game was a pitcher's duel. Cody Labert would freeze the Lobo bats, and now his teammates can hopefully get back to work and build on the lead. Bottom of the second, Ruert would match his counterpart pitch for pitch, and there goes another one back to the dugout. The two-time A-League state champs have moved up to the Double-A League this year, but in this rivalry, it does not matter which team is playing at what level. Next batter, I said next batter, please. Ruert did his job, although he ended up getting a no decision in this game. That's the business sometimes. Top of the third, the visitors got one run in on a sacrifice fly, so they trail 2-1. Blaine Guile will knock a single into left field. That gets Tim Beckett to tie the score, and then Ty Pollock will come in from second. Wheatland now leads 3-2. Bottom of the third, Ruert still on the mound and setting him down. This looked to be a pretty low-scoring game, but then the floodgates would open after that, as you're about to see. Later, the Cats started to pounce. Ryan Liebert will keep it simple and send a single to left field. Here comes Tanner Eastland for the boys in blue, and this game is tied up at 3 runs apiece. Here comes more. Tristan Gray goes the opposite way for his contribution. Malone is his RBI to make it 4-3, and then a bases-loaded wild pitch would give the home team a 5-3 advantage. The visitors needed to get some defense going soon, or else the deficit was going to grow. How about Tim Beckett to Critter Ruert to Guile for the 6-4-3? That's a good way to stop the bleeding, and Wheatland can now get back to work offensively. Top of the fourth, they tried, but the Cats were waiting on them. Gray and Ryan Liebert team up to take out the runner at third, and the opposition has to go back to the drawing board. Top of the fifth, here comes that new plan. It involves Braden Douglas going deep to left. Not quite enough to get out of here, but deep enough to get to the wall and allow some runs to score. Guile is in, and Cesar Zavala is giving chase, and he'll slide in ahead of the throw to even up the score on this game. The scoreboard reads 5-5. Moving on, the visitors were building momentum. Pollock will dribble one through, and that ball is bobbled into the outfield with the bases loaded. Critter Ruert and Beckett get the green light to go home, and now the Lobos are back on top 7-5. Same inning, Braden Fagenbush decided he better get in on the act as well. There's a contribution to center field for a base hit. Douglas is kicking it into high gear because he wants to score from second, which he will, and that run would push the score up to 8-5. Bottom of the seventh, the Cats are down to the last chance in this one. The bases are loaded for Locke, and this opposite field single to left will get one of them in. Gray will come on down to score, but the home team still trails 8-6. The next batter is Austin Zimmer. This should be 2 to end the game. Out at second, but the throw to first is wide, and Douglas got the break they needed. Davies and Devin Burton will both cash in on the error to tie this game up at 8 runs apiece, meaning this first game has to go into extra innings. Top of the eighth, 2 runners in scoring position for Wheatland. Great defense by Malone at shortstop. He looks the runner back at third and then tags out the one trying to get back to second. Talk about being at the right place at the right time. Now runners are at the corners, and the visiting team got smart. The one at first is going to get picked off, but it turns out he was just a distraction and stayed alive long enough for Dan Lucero to complete the double steal and score, as the Lobos would end up swiping the first game on the road 9-8. Now on to game 2, and this was the game that did not want to end, kind of like that book that she's reading. Top of the first, the 2-time A-League state champs are already up 1-0. Ruert puts the ball in play, and this was a stretch, but the connection cannot be made at first. Douglas is already in, and Pollock will trot home himself to put he and his teammates up by a score of 3-0. The home team defense would answer the call before things got any worse. Davies fields the grounder, and it's 4-6-3 to retire 2, and the Cats can now get to work on the offense. Bottom of the first, Malone is going to find some room in center field, but not unless the defense has something to say about it, and they don't. The ball drops. Malone has a double and a ribby in the form of Cody Liebert, and now the score is 3-1. The boys in blue would load the bases, and this play would benefit both sides. Beckett to Critter Ruwert to Fagenbush for the 6-4-3, but one run comes across the plate, and that would be Eastland, so his team now only trails 3-2. Top of the second, the theme of this game was simple mistakes that should not have been made. There's one example, and Zavala will take advantage of it. Now the visitors have the score doubled up at 4-2. A bases-loaded walk would make this a 5-2 contest. Then Pollock's going to smack one all the way to the wall. A little bit more and that would have been out of here. He had to settle for a double, but it pushed across 2 more runs. Josh Calvert scores, and Beckett almost passed him up in the race to the plate. Lobos now lead 7-2. If the Cats needed a play, it was now. Davies snags the liner and then fires over to Dyer to double up the runner at first. That helped, but they were going to need more plays than that to get out of this jam. Bottom of the third, the boys in blue now down 8-2. Gray will go the opposite way, and that will result in a little bit of run production. Dyer will come all the way in from second to provide a much-needed run for his team, and they now trail 8-3. Top of the fourth, the visitors would get that run back. Zavala is keeping it simple with a base hit to left field, and here comes Brendan Ruwert for that run. The score is now 9-3. Continuing on, Guile is at second for Wheatland, and he fell for it. Now it's only a matter of time before the Cats would corral their prey and pounce for the pickoff. The home team had their moments, both good and bad in this game, and this was one of the better ones. That did not faze the Lobos, though. Calvert bounces a pitch into right field for a single to add to the cause. Zavala cut things a little close as he tried to score, but he would work his way in standing to push the lead up to 7. It's now 10-3 at this point. Bottom of the fourth, the home team would slowly chip away at the deficit. Cody Liebert will get things started with another base hit into center field. That's all he had to do. Davies will fulfill his end of the deal and score to make it 10-4, good buddy. Then the bases are loaded for Malone. His single to right gets one more run in as Burton will mosey over to home plate and step on it. Douglas is now down by a score of 10-5. Bottom of the fifth, Davies will go Texas Leaguer into left center field to open the door for Gray, who had to go around 2 bases, but he made it. The Cats were getting closer, down 10-6. Top of the sixth, this play got slightly confusing. It's an attempt at a double play. The runner is out at third, and the throw to first is off target, and that's an error. Now that's Zavala, and he scored. And at first we thought Critter Ruwert scored as well, but then we realized that he was the runner forced out at third, so that does not count. But Wheatland is now up 11-6. Now that that is straightened out, we can resume play. Pollock with another base hit contribution and an RBI as Beckett comes in to push the advantage up to 12-6. Top of the seventh, this inning took a while. Lobos up 12-7. Critter Ruwert makes this one count this time. A base hit to center. Guile has taken a little bit of a gamble, but the throw was cut off and that cleared his path. Now it's 13-7. Then this play was a disaster. Drop strike 3. Calvert takes off for first. That should have been an easy out, but easier said than done. You cannot commit those types of mistakes. All hands are safe. Zavala is in to push the visitors ahead 14-7. Moving forward, the score reads 15-7. Douglas goes the opposite way against Douglas, and that will produce a couple. Calvert and Beckett are in. Now the lead is at 10, and if it was that way a couple of innings ago, this game would have been over. But the home team was entitled to one last at-bat, and there was a lot of work to do. Locke gave it a good effort with this base hit. Ryan Liebert comes in to score as the Cats would find themselves down 17-8. Then the bases are juiced for Burton. This is a fielder's choice as the Lobos get the out at first and give up a run as they took the trade-off, as Wheatland would prevail in the end, 17-9 to get the doubleheader sweep.